What is going on, Ivan? How are you?
Yo, what's up? You Steven?
I am Steven. Nice to meet you. I've heard so much about you.
Awesome, man. Likewise, all great things, dude. I'm excited to talk. I'm surprised we haven't talked already, but that's because I'm in NFTNYC as well.
That's okay. That's okay. I know you guys are busy out there. How was your first day yesterday? Was it pretty packed?
I was actually in before everybody else, and yeah, no, it's pretty sweet. I'm here for satellite events, not the actual conference, so right dead in the middle of all the communities. It's cool though.
Yeah. No, actually, that might have some advantages to be able to
Oh,
get all the satellite stuff.
for sure. But yeah, I mean, I'll save it for when everybody else trickles in here, though.
Yeah. Well, I'll ask you all of those questions about it because that's one thing that we've kind of lacked so far in the first 2 days is kind of a rundown of the event of what people have seen. We've had a lot of experts and people that are doing different projects and things like that, but nobody's came in here to really tell us what they've seen in New York.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely give all that.
Awesome. Waiting for Christine to get in here because usually whenever she puts it out with all her massive following, really fill this.
Yeah. She's good, man. And I've heard that you guys have some good chemistry and got some good talks. I mean, those are awesome.
Yeah, I feel like it. It's went fairly well, because we hadn't really done anything collaboratively together before this. So they're always like, "Oh, how's it going to go?" And yeah, I felt like we had some good chemistry. We were able to kind of bounce back and forth off each other, and kind of know when to ask somebody a question and when to just be quiet, and that lets us not like step all over each other.
Sweet. I'll be right there with you guys.
Awesome.
I'm definitely losing my voice though, just yelling at these events.
No, your voice doesn't sound like you're losing it at all. Now, I don't know how you'll be after an hour of speaking, but you sound fine so far.
All right, cool. Where are you based out of?
I'm based out of Texas, so
Gotcha.
It is 10:30 here where I am, and it's cold where I am, and it's cold right now, and we're not used to that. So the heater turned on for the first time today, and yeah, I'm just not acclimated.
I'm Canadian, man, so this is nothing to me right now in New York.
What is it? What's the temperature in New York right now?
I gotta look that up. I don't know Fahrenheit. 1 second.
You're like, okay, Fahrenheit conversions.
Yes, pull up the old Google here.
If you said it in Celsius, I probably would have.
10 degrees Celsius. What's that in Fahrenheit?
Oh gosh, 10 Celsius. It's probably 40, something like that.
Google says 50.
50. Okay, 50. Yeah, that's probably about what it is here in Texas too, which normally we're quite a bit warmer. But yeah, I'm not used to it. You Canadians may just roll with that and it be nothing. But yeah, here in Texas, my blood's too thinned from the hot summers to handle this. So I'm sitting here talking to you with a jacket on and huddled around, hoping my computer can make some heat.
That's funny. So for the past spaces, when did they start? Was it 10:30 as well?
It was 10:30 on Monday.
Gotcha.
And Christine came right in then, and then yesterday we started at 11:30, and we kept that thing going for a while. It stayed. Now this is 11:30 Central Time, my time, but we started at 11:30 and kept it going till, 2:30 or so. It went a good 3 hours yesterday, which is really a little longer. We intended for it to go about 2 hours yesterday, and it just kept the balls. Didn't want to stop the ball from rolling, so it went pretty well. So yeah, I'm hoping Christine comes in because, like I said, she's the one who brings the
I know.
everybody with her. She has a lot of followers that are real participatory too. They will give their insights and things like that, which is great to hear. I don't know if you heard yesterday or if you were able to listen or not, but
unfortunately not.
Oh, well, there was a 13-year-old boy that came in here, and he was amazing. I mean, could hang with any of us as far as his knowledge of NFTs. Yeah, he was amazing, and I think everybody was just jaw on the floor from how smart this kid was. But yeah, he I think follows Christine around.
Yeah, Zach, or do you call him Zach or do you call him Rick?
I call him Zach. I call him Rick. Whatever's in front of me. Usually I'm calling him Zach here lately.
Okay. Yeah, I made the switch from Rick to Zach recently. But yeah, you mentioned that kid, but what's his username? I'll check him out.
Let's see. It's Nick. His name is Nick. Let me see if I can find it. Because I follow.
I'll shoot Christine or text there.
Yeah, if you can, to see if she can get in here. I talked to Zach earlier this morning, and he said he would try to contact her. So his name, that 13-year-old kid, it's Nick_Small, SMOLL, and he's about to come out with his own text.
There
There's Christine. Let me bring her up as a co-host.
So Nick Small.eth.
Yep, Dick Small.eth. That's him. Yeah, he was great.
Sweet. Hello, Christine.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
How are you doing today?
Good. I almost freaking forgot about this today. I was like thinking it was like in 30 minutes, and then I saw you guys were on. I'm like, what?
Well, we kind of changed the time a little bit. You know, Monday it was at this time, and then yesterday we did a little bit later and a little bit longer. You know, because we wanted to have some guests on here. So yeah, I don't blame you for having just multiple times. But I was just catching up Ivan about Nick yesterday because I was so impressed with him.
Right? We love
That's
him.
awesome.
Yeah.
Christine,
how's New York?
Yeah, I was about to. It's been a few days since we last talked, but I got so many stories to tell, and I'll probably share a few here. But New York's treating me well. Definitely losing my voice though from just speaking and yelling the whole time.
I was like, have you been screaming?
Yeah. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
I don't hear the scream in your voice. You sound, of course, I haven't heard you on another day, but yeah, you still sound fine to me. You don't sound like you've got that, pack a day habit or anything type of voice. I think today, Christine, it'll be good with Ivan because one thing we haven't had is like a New York report of somebody to tell us what's going on there in New York. We've had plenty of experts and people that were there, but it sounds like Ivan's got plenty of things to tell us.
Yeah, I can't wait. So I'm tweeting out the room. If you guys could go ahead and tweet out the room, it's on the bottom right corner, the blue button. Go ahead and press that, and that tweets out the room. So we'll let a couple minutes pass by to let people trickle in.
Christine, what do you normally do in the rooms whenever you first start them to kind of give everybody a chance to kind of file in? Because there's a decent lag before we start getting 100, 150 people in here. Do you just kind of stay silent, or do you just kind of try to entertain people with your fire?
So usually I'd play like sometimes I play intro music while I'm like trying to get everything done and like invite people that are supposed to be on and all that. And then once people start trickling in, I give them the rundown of the room, like, hey, make sure you guys tweet out the room, blah blah.
That's good. No,
that's
good. That's good. That's a good way to do it. I've got like a stream deck that I use that I usually play like sound effects and things like that in my live podcast. So yeah, I need to get it set up here where I can do that through the phone, which is always its own challenge.
Yeah, totally. I just put it I'll put it on YouTube or something.
Yeah, I want the sound directly in. I want the best sound possible, man.
Yeah, true.
But I've done that before. I've held a speaker near a phone several times just to try to get something on there.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if I should send this out to Nick.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Of course, he's probably in school now, right?
Oh, that's right.
Well, he was under the weather yesterday, and that's why he was home, because everybody was like, dude, why aren't you in school? And he said he was sick. Now, maybe he's still sick, and if he is, then yeah, bring him on in. There's nothing that would make him feel better than being in this spaces. I
know, he loves it. But you're right, he's at school. He would probably go freaking hide behind a bleacher and get on the phone.
Right. Get him in trouble. I will bet Nick's grades are very good. He just seems like an intelligent kid.
Yeah, super. Yeah, I think we could start now, and then as people will start coming in. It's pretty early over here.
It is. Well, I know where you are. It's really early. And yeah, so I think this probably would be a good time. So welcome, everybody. This is the TRADERVERSE Spaces, and all week we've been in here around this time speaking about NFTs and just the NFT experience, how we can grow the space. And it's all surrounded around NFT NYC, a giant conference that's happening right now where there's a lot of the NFT leaders are in there speaking, and even little satellite conferences and things like that. We have with us today Ivan. He's a member of the TRADERVERSE team, and he's there in New York seeing some of these satellite talks that are going on and all that goes with that. Sometimes the best information you get is not actually in the talk that you're in, but in the networking and the people that you meet along the way. So it'll be great to speak with Ivan. My name is Steven. I go on Twitter as the at Voice of DeFi. I tried to come up with the most presumptuous name I could possibly come up with, and that was it. But I've got with me Christine Barnum. She is, well, you all know who she is because she is well versed in Twitter Spaces, and she's part of the OTC Club. And man, she has a great following and really has this Twitter Spaces thing down. I'm trying to learn everything I can from her because she knows her ish. Okay, she knows her stuff. So I appreciate all of her expertise with that. We do this daily. Come in here and just learn everything we can. It's not always going to be about NFT talk. It just is this week because of the event in New York. But someday it'll be about crypto. Someday it'll be about stocks. Someday we may talk about some technical analysis sort of things, just wherever the conversation goes. I want it to come off like a few friends at the bar, right? Just kind of hanging out, talking crypto, stocks, NFTs, whatever else comes to our mind. Sometimes it'll just be what we ate for lunch. So, I've really let it get into that before, and sometimes it's very interesting with a worldwide audience what we're all eating. I learned that a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is not a worldwide delicacy. It's more of a North American thing. So, uh, continuing to learn about everybody's eating habits. So. Yeah, and I was telling Ivan, it is cold where I am. I'm in Texas, and it's very cold, and I'm not used to it. So, you Northerners, this may be normal for you, but it's not quite normal for me. But let me introduce Ivan. Ivan, if you want to unmute your mic and maybe introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks for the intro there, Stephen. Just a little preface that I'm definitely losing my voice because NFTNYC has been wild. As Stephen mentioned, I've been bouncing around between satellite events, which are just all surrounded around NFTNYC, which is going to be the biggest conference we're going to get, and just the first of many, to be honest. But these satellite events, they're all surrounding the same general area because NFTNYC is inviting all the different communities out there to, host their own. And that's what we've been doing. A little background on myself here, that'll be a first for most of you guys, is that I'm also a community lead for multiple NFT projects with some pretty big names like Ben Morrow. I'm working with Ben Morrow's Huxley, Ben Morrow's Evolution. I dabble along the Flow ecosystem, which has been big all throughout NFTNYC. And if any of you are familiar, I'm down to talk about that up here. But these satellite events are awesome, man. Like, it just really shows the conversion of community and technology and how everybody's mobilized to get around such common goals and common projects. My favorite thing about this is I'm meeting so many new people for the first time, but I'm also meeting a bunch of old friends I've been talking to for over a year just for Discord, for Twitter Spaces, Clubhouse. For the first time IRL, and we're really hitting it off like we're old friends because we are. I mean, we all started talking during COVID, during the pandemic, and it's the first time I've been meeting the TRADERVERSE team in real life, actually. Christine, man, Zach's fucking funny as hell in real life, too. But yeah, that's my spiel, and I got a bunch of events, and if anybody else on stage here is in NFTNYC, I'd like to hear from you, because, I mean, dude, you guys better have been at the Top Shot party. That was insane. We had Quavo freaking perform right in front of me. Like, what the hell was that? Yeah, but just the idea of NFTs and attracting all these celebrities and influencers and all for a great goal is cool.
Is it just a huge networking party event happening?
It's a first for me, like any conference. But yeah, NFTNYC is more so centered around conferences and actual talks from creators, developers, and leaders in the space, talking about how they think NFTs are going to build and how they're going to do it. But these satellite events around it are just these communities coming together and celebrating and just rallying their community. So yeah, that's where the parties are in the satellite events.
How would you guess? Excuse me. How would you guess how many people are coming to this event? And I know it's hard to say being at the satellite events versus the regular event, but have you heard any numbers?
Oh man, I don't want to misquote, but there's definitely thousands of tickets that were sold to the NFTNYC conference alone. There were so many people going that they had to expand to 2 separate venues from the original just one. So they have 3 different spaces throughout Times Square in New York. But yeah, I got thousands of people, but then there's also thousands more just like me that are only coming for satellite events because each community has, thousands of their own members.
I mean, it sounds like we might be talking tens of thousands or there, or at least over,
I would say so, yeah.
That's amazing. So out of the satellite events that you were at, was there one particular speaker or one particular person that kind of wowed you the most?
I might be biased to say, but I went to the Triad Theater and met people I've been working with for a while there through Ben Morrow and the feature team. And what they're doing is bringing a bunch of Hollywood level IPs and just the whole production of it right onto the blockchain. That way collectors and creators can prove their ownership through it. And just seeing that in person and hearing what they want to build, that was my favorite talk right there, because I think we're all creators in this space, and being empowered through blockchain is something I'd like to see us all be.
I went ahead and pinned the Huxley project that you're working on. Can you go into that and into depth about, you guys are there and your presence is there, and I'm sure you guys are networking that and getting that out there. If you could let people know about it.
Perfect. Yeah, of course. So Ben Morrow's Huxley. maybe we can start off with who's Ben. Might not all be familiar with his name, but you're definitely all familiar with his work. He's worked on big name titles like Call of Duty, Halo, Valerian, Elysium, the Hobbit trilogy, all these big name movies and AAA games. But all throughout this time, he's been building his own world in his personal project called Huxley. And he's been working on it for over 10 years. And with the emergence of NFTs, the timing was just perfect that he's going to start to release it that way. And what we're doing is starting the release by rolling out his entirely finished 6 issues of his graphic novel series.
Wow.
And that already launched, right?
Yes, so issue 1 is currently minting. If you guys all want to go discord.gg/Huxley and then huxleysaga.com. I'll pin up a trailer in a second here. But you guys should definitely check it out because Ben's pretty talented as is. His resume is insane, but so is the rest of the team. I mean, we got guys that have worked with Stan Lee in the past and a bunch of big name movies like Polar Express. Some guy that worked with Kanye for a long while in his visuals for his tours. Like, it's pretty sweet. Like I said, all these creators are coming into the NFT space, and I think this NFTNYC stuff is really just a testament to that. We're all coming out for this now, and it's just the start. There's going to be so many more of these in all of your cities, I bet.
Man, whenever you're talking, Hollywood collectibles, that's such a big, thing, item whenever people get actual physical memorabilia or just little statues or figurines and that sort of thing. That's already huge. There's no doubt it'll go large into the NFT space. You get into the issue of rarity, because normally whenever I go buy, a Star Wars figurine or something like that, there's a bunch of them at the store and there's no rarity. But now with this new idea of, something being ultra rare on top of just owning it, I think that will drive the space forward so much, because there's always so much interest already in, big Hollywood productions. So it sounds like that's quite a good roadmap ahead.
100%. If I could just chill a bit more about the project,
Let's hear it.
That these digital NFTs are all tied to physicals as well. So you get that physical novel if you choose to redeem it. It's a pretty sweet thing, man. Like, we're really utilizing the entirety of the possibilities it can do for these. Like, 2D JPEGs are just a start. You gotta think long term, and the motto that we got going on with Feature and Huxley is that we got to take you through the ride before we get you to the gift shop. So all you guys are going to read these comics, and if you want to collect the characters from those comics, that option's there. If you want to be a part of this world as well, that's when our generative project comes into play, and that's what my profile picture is, actually. But that's my spiel on Huxley, man. It's big. Everybody should check it out. There's a lot of this going on, and NFTNYC definitely proves that.
For sure. How many are in one? I keep on asking numbers, and you said thousands. But in just one satellite event, is it a pretty crowded room?
Yeah, so Top Shot, I'll talk about them because they're probably the biggest NFT project in terms of accessibility, and I think it was the gateway for a lot of people into NFTs. NBA Top Shot had their event out in Terminal 5, which I'm not too familiar with because I'm not from New York, but when I was telling people about it, it seems like it's one of the biggest concert venues, and we filled that out with just Top Shot collectors. And it was like 4 floors, and the VIPs were at the top or whatever, but yeah, it was a packed concert venue. So I don't actually know how many people were there, but there's definitely thousands.
I was about to say, if it's a packed concert venue, that's a lot of people. And I love NBA Top Shot. It definitely stirs my interest into NFTs because I was always a trading card collector growing up, and so it kind of just has a little bit of nostalgia to me for that. And they look great. So yeah, I'm sure that was a pretty big event. How about for networking? I've got to think an event like this is just super networking. You met people that you've known, it sounds like for a long time, but this is your first time to meet them in real life. Are you also able to meet people through them maybe, or just through the whole, event that maybe you've never met before that are, new friends, if you will?
No, 100%. Just being in space in general, it's kind of weird to say that people recognize me and I don't recognize them, but people come up to me and talk about their projects, which is cool. I think one of my favorite things I saw was this nonprofit that's really trying to look into blockchain technology and NFTs in general, just to help with their fundraising and building up their awareness. So I'm going to shout out newstory.org. I'll pin one of their things there, but what they're pretty much doing is ending homelessness through the blockchain. And,
wow.
Yeah, so I mean, for the beauty of blockchain, the transparency of each transaction is listed all throughout, so you can see straight from the donor to the charity to where that charity is putting the money. And in this example, News Story, what they want to do is your donation goes straight to a house built for less fortunate people, but that house is tied to the NFT, so you can see that transaction happening.
How does that work? Like, can you tell me, like, I'm 5?
Let's see. I'll put all my brain power into this. So actually, a really relevant example is El Salvador. They've accepted Bitcoin as a legal tender, right? So new story, what sounds like is they've been partnering with the government to help develop housing for low-income people and less fortunate people. So pretty much owning the NFT through donations, all the funds raised by it and all the royalties from aftermarket sales go straight to a house that NFT is raising funds for. So how it works pretty much is that house is tied to where your serial NFT is. That's my understanding. I haven't looked too far into it because I did just meet her yesterday, but it's pretty sweet.
That's so crazy and super duper cool.
I love that we can use blockchain like that, because you're right. If it was a centralized type of outfit to where they were making donations, you never know where the donations are going. It's not completely transparent, but yeah, you're right. On the blockchain, it's just perfect weighted for a charity like that, like giving to the homeless, for a charity for them, because then you can see it, you feel good about it. It probably makes people feel better about supporting that project because they know exactly where their money's going.
Yeah. Definitely post that up there. I'm so curious to see that project as well. And what's your schedule like today, Ivan? And how long are you there?
So I got in last Monday, and I've been just doing a bunch of events through Huxley and the Flow blockchain. Today is my kind of take it to myself and explore New York for the first time kind of day. But I'm here till Friday. I got events lined up, especially throughout the nights. I'll be honest, I get home at like 4 in the morning sometimes at this point, because these events run late. I mean, that's what happens when you have new money in this space, I guess. Everybody has a wild fucking party. So, yeah, I actually got Zach into to one last night. I see him, and the crowd's getting him up here.
That was, whenever you say the after party, I don't know why, but that's the thought that I have is I'll bet you every night there's a pretty big party going on, because it's a bunch of young crypto people or NFT people. And those people don't go to bed early usually. So I'll bet it gets pretty crazy at night.
City never
New
sleeps,
York
man.
doesn't sleep. Yeah. We just said that same thing. Let's see. Does anyone up here have a question for Ivan, or you guys want to add to anything if you guys are up there in NYC?
For you guys who's out there at NFTNYC, and like, what's the coolest event you guys have been to? I'm in South Florida, so I got Art Basel coming up, but definitely not. I don't think it's gonna be the same experience like NFTNYC.
I really want to go to Art Basel, by the way.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what NFT events are gonna have. I mean, it's in December. I know there's gonna be a few. I mean, it's in December coming up, but I don't think they've announced much about it yet for like what type of it. If there's gonna be any NFT galleries or.
I believe there is. Yeah,
there is.
I think there is. Yeah.
Unless I've been looking in the wrong place.
I saw articles saying like that NFTs are going to be brought to Art Basel, and they're super excited. And I know like a few galleries are curating it, but I definitely want to try to go. So, yeah, Ivan and Zach, like, what's your favorite events you guys have been to so far? He was asking.
So I heard something that brought me down last night. That was fun. It was silly. It was fun. There's a lot of good vibes. It's basically.
I can barely hear him. I don't know if
Yeah.
Can't hear you there, Rick.
Oh, of course you can.
But I caught a bit of that, if you don't mind speaking over there. I brought Zach out to the Pizza DAO launch party, and it was a DAO's community event, and seeing hundreds of people from all over the world come to New York just to see their NFT mint and seeing their work of 8 months come together. It was a pretty cool experience. So I'm going to have to agree with Zach that the Rare Pizzas launch party event was my favorite thing. They got this venue of 4 stories in an entire club. It was cool to see.
Rare Pizza.
That's the Rare Pizza. It was really fun.
Rick is totally in New York. Like, he sounds like he's in New York City. He sounds like
The background noise.
Yeah.
I'm at this brunch right now, full of people in the industry. It's super fun.
Now, why he decided to put his phone on the other side of the room, I don't understand. But
it sounds like he put it like at the end of the table and he's just like eating his.
I feel like we're talking to everyone that's at brunch with him too.
Right. He just put it on speaker and said, "Y'all ever heard of Twitter Spaces?" And just turned it on.
One event that I saw, I saw the Boarded Yacht Club. I saw they had their little yacht party. It's like I saw all over Twitter.
Oh yeah. Was it actually on a yacht? Ivan, did you go?
It was actually on a yacht, yes, but no, I did not go because unfortunately I did not buy an ape, even though I knew about it at the start.
Man.
Yeah, it's tough.
Missed opportunity in so many ways.
Oh,
Isn't it too cold to be in a freaking yacht?
It's New York.
When in Rome.
When in New York, Rome.
When in New York, Rome.
Yeah. Well, you guys are giving us FOMO, and we're sad now.
Yeah. Yeah, I need a crying emoji, not a cry laugh emoji. I need an actual crying emoji because, yeah, that makes me sad. You guys are where all the party is, and here we are hearing it secondhand. And yeah, it sounds great. Not only that from the parties, but there's just a lot of knowledge and a lot of networking. And for me, I think the networking's good. I know Rick. He's probably really excited because he's a networker. He loves to talk to people, and man, I'll bet you are in your element as you're there in your party with your phone in the middle of the table.
That's funny. That's honestly my thing that I'm upset about not being able to go. Because I'm a big social person and networking. And I just can imagine all the different new people that they're meeting at NFTNYC, which is why I'm really excited for Art Basel. Because I'm born and raised in South Florida, so I've gone many a times. But this is probably like the first year where I'm excited because I actually have a purpose to go there and see what they're gonna do with this emerging space.
Yeah. Did you get tickets to Art Basel, or did you get that
Not
yet?
yet. No, I mean, I didn't get it yet because so with Art Basel, it's kind of like NFT NYC where there's different events all over the part of Miami. I mean, there are some major galleries, there's some major sections like Wynwood, in the art district, but I'm waiting to see where the NFT events are gonna be, because you're basically paying for the you're paying to get into the different type of galleries, or they have like a main part there where all like the galleries from like all the other countries come to, but there's so many different events across Miami that's happening. So I'm just waiting to see when the events start rolling, when they start rolling around.
Okay. Maybe I'll go. And if I do, I will see you there.
Finally, an in real life meetup like we talk about, where
I
you
know,
know
right?
somebody digitally, but not in real life. Poor One Life, you've got your hand up. Did you have a comment on what everybody was saying?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I just wanted to put my insight on something that's really not on the topic, but something that we talked about last night. Vivi. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Vivi. All licensed, premium, carbon neutral NFTs through big brands like Cartoon Network, Busters, Star Trek, Ron English, Mondo, Disney plus Pixar just signed last week. Marvel, DC, Back to the Future, Universal. I could keep going. There's 200 plus contracts that they signed.
I think they also got the United States Post Office.
Yeah,
like that was
NFT drop. That was yesterday. We signed 2 days ago, and the NFT came yesterday. That's how fast things are moving.
Wow.
It's also on the iOS store and the Google Play store. So what's cool about that? It's not like where you want to board ape, you need Ethereum to buy it on OpenSea. So when you go on Vivi, you don't need any crypto. You just need a debit card or a credit card, or you could use Vivi's cryptocurrency, which is called OMI, OMI, which is still underneath a penny. And if you wanted to find OMI, it's on Bitforex.
I do have that, yeah.
Is there any advantage in buying with OMI versus on your credit card? Is there any discount by native token?
Maybe right now because it's under a penny and prices fluctuate every single day. So you could be filling up your bag right now, and then tomorrow you could wake up and it's, I don't know, let's say 10 cents. So you start doing the math on that.
Are you a member of their development team by any chance, or are you just very enthusiastic?
No, I'm just very bullish on it. I've been with Vivi for about 10 months now.
Nice.
I wish I didn't wait. A good friend of mine and his uncle told me about Vivi, and I waited 2 weeks after they told me about it. Because, I was like, oh, yeah, they're not real NFTs or whatever. Then I started looking into the project, and I screwed myself just those 2 weeks that I didn't join. Because there was something called the Todd McFarlane Batman, and I could have been buying it for, I think, like $150 a pop. As many of them as I wanted. And 2 weeks went on, and I went to go get one, and sure enough, he was already $2,000.
Yeah, don't worry, man. There'll be plenty of opportunities there for you. I think there's this common misconception in the space right now of the fear of missing out, and the reality is we're still at the beginning here, man. You got plenty of time.
So all that really matters, how I look at it, is that we're here right now, today, speaking about it. And we're actually doing this shit, and there's people that are still, coming into these spaces and just listening, and they're scared. But then there's us, fear of missing out. We don't want to miss out on anything. That's why we do these live spaces, and that's why we all interact with each other the way we do. And this is like the most awesomest space I've ever been in my whole 24 years of living.
Yes, it really is. And I want to introduce you guys to Genius Baby, Nick.
Yay.
What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Hey, Nick. Good morning, buddy.
Feeling any better, Nick?
What'd you say?
Are you feeling any better?
So yesterday I wasn't feeling good, and then midday I was feeling amazing, and then I went to a haircut, and all of a sudden I just felt like not a very good word. But so my dad made me stay home. So now I'm at home right now getting some peanut butter crackers because I'm hungry.
And now you're talking to us. Yeah, we're the winners out of you being sick. We are the winners out of that. So welcome back. If you guys were here yesterday, we were all introduced to Nick. Christine already was familiar with Nick. But Nick is very advanced for his age. And frankly, I probably just could take away the for his age part and just say he's very advanced because he's just a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. And he's been flipping NFTs quite successfully over the last few months, and he has his own project that is about to release soon. When is that releasing?
So we are expected to go November 13th. Might have to push it back, potentially if we don't have enough members and enough people, but we'll see.
What's the name of the project?
Ranchy Rednecks.
All right.
I went ahead and posted that up on the top of the chat, Nick's project. And Nick, Ivan is here, and he is in New York. He's been there since, last Monday, Ivan, and he's still there. If you have any questions about NFTNYC for him, he's more than happy to answer.
Yeah, for sure. Nice to meet you, Nick. I heard how great talks went yesterday. Definitely like to hear more about your project sometime soon.
For sure. So
go ahead.
My question for you is, what has your favorite experience been in NFTNYC so far? Just out of the whole thing.
I've been asked that a few times over, and I think I change my answer every time just because every satellite event has been so cool. Every community has been great to see. Everybody coming together from all over. You know, we've been speaking for over a year and seeing everybody for the first time and acting like we're longtime friends because we are. But I think my answer this time is the only party where Huxley Saga had holograms at that party, which was cool to see. We had these life-size holograms similar to what Beeple's Human One project is, and just having that front and center and everybody's crowd reactions to it was a cool feeling.
What were the holograms of?
The holograms were of all the different event sponsors and all that, includes Huxley, and they had different NFTs and world assets from all these projects in these hologram boxes, and it was just so cool to see, something we've been working on in person at life size, just standing right in front of me. But yeah, that's my answer for this question at that time.
You're right. You have been asked that question several times, but I'm glad Nick asked because, that was a good answer. I didn't realize you were in the presence of holograms. That's space age to me. That's pretty cool.
Those are always cool. And then we have some questions, right? Sean Quote or Coyote.
Yeah, it's Quote. I'm glad you got it. General question for you guys. Dropping an art project. It should be done within a week, but I've been asking a few of my friends. I'm contemplating if now is the time to drop it or wait a little bit because of how high gas and Ethereum are. So just trying to see other people's opinions because I should literally be done within a week, and I would plan on dropping in a week. But now, since people are not even minting other projects, I'm like, do I wait? Do I drop when I wanted to? So just trying to get other people's opinions.
Just wait a little bit. That's what I say.
What are you planning?
Sorry, Nick, go ahead, buddy.
When are you planning to drop it?
I mean, I was gonna probably by next week. I'm finalizing the art now. I mean, it's 100 exclusive hand-drawn art. So it's not like one of those big PFP projects. So that's something I was thinking it should be fine. But if people aren't even minting general projects right now, it's just been my biggest contemplation if I should wait towards the end of November and see how gas and Ethereum goes, or just do it as planned.
For sure. So if I were you, I would look at the days that you're dropping it and at the times for past weeks. So if you're dropping it on whatever, look at that day on past weeks. See if in every week there's a drop point. Because yesterday there was a huge drop point where gas went down to about 75 GUI. So there's always drop points throughout the day. Just maybe try to figure that part out. And if there just aren't enough drops from the day, I would go with pushing it back a week. But yeah.
You said where'd you check that?
You check that on, just look up gas price and you can just see.
Oh, just the gas price.
Yeah, and you can just see past weeks on some of the websites, and again, yeah, I would think, and a lot of people, they'll pay the gas fee if it's only like 100 to 120 GWI, sometimes even 150. So you shouldn't be worried too much unless it's 200 or like 170 actively. But yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to kind
That's
of
some good advice.
I wanted to piggyback off what the gentleman just said, because he's absolutely right. There's many websites out there. ETHGas.watch is one of them, where, like he's saying, you can look at the historical record, and it will show you, like, all the way back for the past 2 weeks, every hour of every single day, and the trends of how the gas has dropped. So, for example, I minted something in the middle of the day yesterday on Foundation, and then you have to pay twice. It was like 280 plus another 280. And then I minted something else at 1 a.m. Where it was lowest, and it was just barely over $100. So, but I think the other thing you want to take into consideration, to answer the original question, is your following, right, and your community, and how hungry are they for your work, right, and how many people are interested, and that's kind of something that you should consider as well, whether or not to go ahead and drop it now, or potentially hold off a week or two or whatever.
And I love
Gotcha.
I love the different experience that people have in here, where they can say, like, okay, this is what I've seen that works, and then we can pass it on. I think it's always real organic to be able to share your own previous experiences, to be able to help somebody out. I always really think that's really special. Just as a quick reset here, this is the TRADERVERSE spaces. We meet every day, and we talk about various topics in crypto, stocks, NFTs. We're talking NFTs a lot this week because of the conference in New York. But TRADERVERSE is a social network where you can get all the tools in one place, including content creation and different. If you just want to consume content, everything right there, charting, all in one place. So TRADERVERSE will be coming out soon. Sure, if you haven't already, that you follow the TRADERVERSE Twitter account, my account that I'm speaking from right now. Also, there is a Discord server, which I'd highly recommend getting on, and you can speak over there as well. Lots of good, just like what we had here. Just expertise being kind of thrown around in there, and I always appreciate that. One person that I've had a DM about that is up here on stage that I want to give a chance to speak about real quick was Gus Fink. He's got a few different projects he is working on, and Gus, I just want to give you a chance to be able to speak real quick and tell everybody what you've got going on.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've started, my career as an artist for about 21 years now professionally, and really just grew in the toy space, galleries, you kind of name it, I've probably dabbled in it, comic books, video games, etc. And we've been launching some NFTs recently on my OpenSea. But a bigger project is, you can see the little icon on the my Twitter right here. So it's Numb Bunny, and we're gonna be doing 6,666 of these. And once we get to 100% sold, the idea is to put full production of a animated series. So I have a lot of experience, writing for animation, directing animation. I just recently won an award for a short film. And so that's just one of the things we're going to be doing. But what I feel is good about this project is not only the character has proven itself before we tried NFTs. It had a lot of success on Amazon with t-shirts. It was kind of like an image I forgot I did. And then I checked my royalties, and 99% of everything I sold was Numb Bunny. It was, thousands of dollars each month was coming in. So I noticed there was something about the character. And from there, I went into plush toys, and the same thing kind of happened. So I feel like a lot of NFT projects, they kind of just throw them out there hoping like it just sticks. But there's not really a lot of backbone to it. And there's not like a lot they could grow from. So I have this feeling, and I could be wrong, but I just feel like in a few years from now, I think what's going to happen is the NFTs that are going to really shine are going to be something that, has this thing to it that's going to not only be great as an investment and look cool, and, community's there, but I think as long as it can have these legs that could cross over to the entertainment industry and, cross over to fashion and all that kind of stuff, which I have a background in all that stuff, what I've been doing. So I just feel like that's a great direction for it. And that's why I feel good about this project, even if it, there's a chance it doesn't sell out. I'll keep doing Numb Bunny stuff, and I think it'll keep, growing from there. So that's a really quick, pitch in a sense of what that project's about, as well as, my background history in art.
Sure, that's pretty amazing. So just to make sure I understand, you would like an animated series, or like a some sort of series, whether it be on the web or through actually published to be kind of a part of of your NFT project. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I've sold a short series before to, they're called Spin Master. They're one of the biggest toy companies. I think they're ranked like 4 or 5 right now. But I keep building this. My fan base on Instagram is like 264,000. So and that was a whole thing in itself. Like, it took me like 7 years to figure it out, just because I knew people would be there for my art. But as far as the animation stuff goes, I keep sort of crossing over into that entertainment world where I feel like if this was a movie, it'd almost be like, and I could be a little bit over exaggerating it in my mind maybe, but it seems I'm about to be this larger scale director, larger scale writer, and here's an opportunity where people could imagine if you're able to buy into something like Tim Burton did or Steven Spielberg did before they were anybody. And I feel like it's kind of like that, just from these deals I have in progress. I have 2 phone calls today. Even one is with the William Morris Endeavor, which is the largest agency, for the entertainment industry. And then after that, and that's for a cartoon series, a different one. After that, I have a feature film that I've been working on, like a live action thing. A really big producer who's done, one of the biggest merchandised, trilogies of last decade. He's interested. He's on board. He loves the script. So it's like all these little things are happening. Meanwhile, I'm doing my first big NFT launch. But it's like, I always feel like I'm going to overwhelm people when I talk about all the stuff I do. Because I even overwhelm myself at times, because I'm always like doing something different. Like on Halloween this year, I just dropped a new video game that I've been working on for like 11 years. And it's like, in my head, I feel like there's this big company I'm going to be building. And I've been building it for the last 21 years, but it's like it's finally starting to really get good traction. And I feel like I think there's going to be this great thing for Numb Bunny being like the heart of it. And it could be like this next, sort of Hello Kitty character of this generation coming, like not the Hello Kitty that started in the 70s and lasted 40 years. But I feel like there's a new wave coming, like for everything that happened in the world the last, just a couple of years even. I feel like we're all heading in this new era that we're not sure what it's going to be, but I think it's going to be, pretty exciting and cool and just different. It's going to have that 80s had their feel, the 90s had their feel. We weren't really sure what the 2000s were, but I feel like the 2020s, starting off horrible in a sense, are going to become this amazing decade to look back on. And I feel like I'm going to be part of that in some sense, just because it just seems like it's building towards that.
What is the name of the character again?
It's Numb Bunny. If you look at the image that's on my little icon here, that's one of the first ones I designed.
And how many? Sorry.
You know what I like about it? I like about that it could cross change to different communities, like older people like myself that is plus 30 years old is going to enjoy the art, and people that is under teens probably would enjoy the art. I don't know. Nick will tell me. What do you think about the art, bro? Yo, Nick, what's up, man? This sound Dr. Genie here.
So art, do you mean art in general, or
in general? What do you think about the character? Do you think that would be something that your community would dig?
So yes, and the reason why is the backstory, not just how the art looks, but also the backstory. I think it gives it a great way of connecting to it. It gives it a funny story, and it gives it a little bit of relatable. I think I get DMs every day saying, I'm a little bit of a redneck myself. I fixed up my truck the other day, and all that, and it's really funny to see. So I think people connect with it.
Yeah,
they're a redneck. They fixed a truck. I love it.
He hit the nail on the head. Again, Gus, it's not just the artwork or the utility that you add to it, and all this extra functionality is great, but it's you that's inspiring that I want to support, right? And you see this type of stuff like on Shark Tank. Sometimes the product, maybe they're skeptical about it or whatnot, but the person is just so incredibly passionate, and their vision for the future is so well thought out that how can you not want to support it, man? Congratulations, Gus. I'm going to give you a follow.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, I'm really new to Twitter, very new to NFT space, but like I said before, my Instagram is, because it's such a visual platform. That's why I concentrate on there the most, and usually grow. Every week I'm usually adding about 1,000 followers right now. So I'm hoping the same in Twitter. I know it's a different kind of space, but I've really enjoyed these spaces that you guys are offering, and I just think the community here is really, really strong and powerful, and it's a different kind of mindset, and it's really exciting.
It is, because you have the ability to come up here and speak, which humanizes the person behind, the profile. So I think you're going to enjoy Twitter as you learn to use it more, because it just moves at a much faster pace.
Bro, it's been taking me the longest to get him on Twitter. It's been taking the longest to get him there. I'm a collector of God's stuff. I very much grab him by the hand and brought him over, bro. Like, it's been the most difficult thing, but the most rewarding ever, because he is truly a great artist. And I can't wait. I can't wait until the bunnies and the game become part of the blockchain, because right now the video game, as far as I know, is not on any blockchain. And over here, the panel that I was at speaking this morning, New York City NFTs, there was Solana games we're talking about, Wax games we're talking about, Ethereum games we're not talking about too much, because transaction fees are really high. I know you started minting now on Ethereum, but are you planning, or do you have any guidance yet into which blockchain you should put the game?
For Friendship Fighter, I talked to the guys a while ago. Actually, there was Epic. I don't know if you know Epic Games, EPIK. They reached out to me about doing NFTs into the game, unlockables. But my partners on that game, there's two other guys. They weren't interested at all. They weren't getting it. But I do think once the game builds success, I think, and I told them this already. I think if we launched even just one character from there, my favorite. Not to be too bunny biased, but there's a bunny in that character in that game, and he's really awesome. He's really personal to me. I think that would be a great one. There's a lumberjack who's got one eyeball. His name's Crumblejack. He's a weird monster. I got the guy tattooed on my arm, actually. I did it years ago when we started it. But I think that would work amazingly in the NFT space, even since they're 3D characters. They all have weird, wacky, special moves, and that Cyclops lumberjack I was telling you about. He throws out of his book bag, one of his powers he does people out of his book bag. There's these things called bite bears, and he'll just throw one at you, and it'll knock you or kind of bite you. And there's so much wacky stuff in that, and I feel like everything I do is sort of in its own. It's I have my own universe in a sense, where if a numb bunny could easily pop in that video game, or it could be in something else that I do, like one of the toy lines I've done in the past. There's a lot of stuff I've done. If you Google my name, you'll see it's an almost endless amount of content and projects I've done. I'm one guy, and I have a wife, and me and her just hustle every single day. I'm not kidding. We probably put in about 97 hours every single week. And so I think once people understand what we've been building for so long, I would love it. More than anything, I would love it if just people could, get this kind of financial growth from it, because personally, me making other people happy is the only thing that gives me the most joy in life. Because I had a hard upbringing, but so I just worked my ass off for so many years, where it's I don't get too excited about anything. I don't get excited about concerts, or I don't drink alcohol. There's so much stuff I don't do, but what I do love is seeing somebody get excited, somebody get happy, or if I could help somebody just by my art. I think that's such a cool thing about NFTs. It's you can't do that really with anything else, where you made something and then all of a sudden they've made a killing off of it, and that's probably the most exciting thing about it. Not just them flipping it and leaving it and be that was cool, but maybe they have 5 of them, they sell 3 and they still got 2, and hopefully that kind of thing could pay for whatever they want to do in life, or if they have kids, maybe something for them. So that's what I'm really hoping out of this. I'm really hoping the NFT space keeps growing, and even though there's gonna be ups and downs, I just hope it's always going to be around. I feel like it's going to be, because real money is going to disappear. I think it's we're all kind of realizing real money we don't really have it on us, and what are we doing? But
I want to say something about your vision. That's what I like, is you kind of have a vision, and visionaries tend to see things on the next step. And you're looking at old media like games or streaming video, or whatever, and then combining it with new media like NFTs. And I see how you're kind of seeing a new way of doing things, like you said about if you could invest in Tim Burton before Tim Burton had, all of the Nightmare Before Christmas stuff or something like that. There would be a lot of things, had you invested early, if NFTs were a thing then, that would be quite valuable and quite gratifying as a collector. So that's what I really appreciate of what you're saying, is your collection is seeing a vision of kind of the way things can be integrated in the future, that really hasn't been done successfully just yet. We're just too new in the space. And I think it takes a visionary like yourself to be able to take to that, take things to that next level and integrate what already we know into, this next era of art appreciation, which is NFTs.
And that's so important. When you put your collector's hat on, that's what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for somebody who's calculated, their steps for the future, not just proof of concept, not just we want to create a metaverse, but has actually looked into this, has actually, laid out some sort of a trajectory to reach this objective within X amount of years. These are the types of things that are, when I see that, I'm more willing to come out of pocket and invest in that type of project, so that's important.
I've been investing on Gus collectibles before he did NFTs. So imagine that from a collector's point of view. I go on Instagram, I look at the art, I look at the variations. Like all of this before doing NFTs. He's been doing this shit before the NFTs came along. I'm like, bro, you got to come over here. And in fact, I did an episode and I talked about Ghost art on Roundtable here in Manhattan. The episode is on YouTube. If anybody want to check it out, I'll drop it up in the group section messages. But yeah, it's been around, man. I talk about it in the show. It's really hard to bridge the physical into NFTs when you don't have a community. Because right now, Ghost has a huge community on Instagram, but he's just stepping into Twitter. Now, crypto Twitter. Everybody is familiar with crypto Twitter. If he was already on crypto Twitter and he pulls out all the collection, all that shit be sold out within minutes. But we know the experience OGs here, we know that regardless of how good it is, regardless of how dope all the variations are and the longevity that you have in the space, if you are not part of those people that are talking like how you are right now, this is the most important part of being in NFTs, is being in these spaces. So I'm super happy, super fucking happy you finally got the Twitter. You are on this Twitter space and things are moving forward. I'm fucking stuck, man. I can't wait until you got a full on collection of the non-bunnies because I'm gonna sweep the floor every time.
That's awesome. Yeah, welcome to Twitter for sure. And everybody make sure you give Gus a follow so you can kind of follow along on his project. We usually do this show for about an hour, but I've had one person down here, Howland, that you have had your hand up for some time. And before I wrap things up, I want to give you the stage a little bit. So Howland, what's going on in your world?
Thank you for having me. I'm not going to take up too much of you guys' time. I must first say, I don't know your name, TRADERVERSE, but you truly have like a late night driving down the highway at 2 a.m.
He
kind
does.
of voice. And it's very soothing. I'm not even going to lie.
Radio voice.
It's definitely radio
Put you to sleep,
quality.
right?
But I just want to say I'm very new to the space. I'm a big fan of Nick. I follow his Discord, and like I said, I'm very new to the space, and I'm someone who's married with 2 kids, and I'm just trying to figure out at this point. I really would love to dive more into this and even come out with my own collection. So I just wanted to see if there was any insight that you guys can give me about, doing so. Like, what steps should I be taking to actually do that?
Hey, Howland, can you say that again for my ringtone?
No problem.
I'm joking with you. But if you're looking to start your own project and you're new to the space, I think doing things like this is probably the best you can get. You get connections, you meet people, you learn what the space is about, and just getting into NFTs. Buying some NFTs also helps a lot because you really know what it feels like because you need to know what the experience is. If you're going to create an NFT project and you're giving people things you need to actually know what it feels like. So that's something you should definitely do. Getting in spaces, meeting people is probably the number one suggestion I have for anybody in the space.
Exactly why I follow him. This guy. This is a grown man in a little boy's body.
He's a genius, baby.
He's got the experience.
He's literally a
man.
young prodigy.
He's a professional, and he's got the experience, and we should all really listen because the past couple of days I've been listening to you speak, Nick. I haven't heard one red flag like at all, man. Like, so I'm not going to say the kid stuff because you're not a kid, man. You're a professional, obviously, clearly, and thank you for sharing your wisdom with the rest of the community, man.
No problem.
I think he gives us a little bit of hope because the first question was by Howland was saying, how can I learn this stuff? And I asked Nick yesterday, when did you buy your first NFT? And he said, oh, I don't know, about when I was 12. Well, he's 13 now. I mean, it's been, a year, and my point is listen to how smart Nick is on all these things. He's young, but he also has only been doing this, only at least from purchasing, not real long. And already whenever he speaks, everybody's like, wow, you know your stuff. So I think it's kind of hope for a lot of us if you're trying to, learn, if you're trying to go from Luke Skywalker to Obi-Wan Kenobi, if you want to be Nick, which is Obi-Wan, by the way, Nick, if you want to be,
Let's go.
Yeah, hello there. Then that we know that we can learn it from hearing what you're saying. Well, everybody, I've appreciated this last hour. You guys always just come through with just fire comments, some great projects. I feel like we learned quite a bit today. For those of you that said niceties about my voice, which I appreciate, you can always follow me on @VoiceOfDeFi on Twitter. And you can follow me around the net as well. But you really don't have a need to follow me, because right here from the TRADERVERSE account, we're going to be here every day, Monday through Friday, bringing you great conversation just like this. It's not always going to be about NFTs. It'll always be something to do with the TRADERVERSE world, which again, TRADERVERSE is a social network that is coming soon to you. So you'll want to follow the TRADERVERSE Twitter account just to keep up with the latest updates, as well as head over to that TRADERVERSE Discord server as well, so you can really keep up and just know what's going on. So we will do this again. What is today? Wednesday? Yeah, we'll be here tomorrow. We will be here tomorrow on Thursday, doing a little bit more of this. It'll probably be NFTs again for the rest of the week, but we'll change it up, and maybe at some point we'll do this over on the Discord server as well, so we can have a little fun over there too. And we'll have some good AMAs that'll just be straight up learn about a project for the entirety of the hour. So with that, I'll wrap this room up. I appreciate all of y'all, and I will see you tomorrow.
Later, everybody. VV to the moon.
Thanks,
See you
Steven.
tomorrow, guys.
Have a good one, everyone.
VV to the moon.